Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. We've got plenty of things to talk about. Stick with us. Webby, let's start straight away, mate. Things have gone on since I last spoke with you. Erik Ten Hag, are you surprised at this turnaround? 10 points out of the last 12.
Not really. I think we were playing Villa at the right time. You got beat against Newcastle at home. You got beat by Chelsea in the Cup. Before that, the record was outstanding. I think it was 13 out of 13. That's why they're in the top four, because of their own record. To go there, Villa had some chances. So did we. To go there and get the 3 points, we had to do it. Simple as that. So we move on now to Luton, which is going to be another hard game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Tony? But it's impediment that we had to go on this run. And the manager said a few weeks ago, every game's a cup final now if you want to get in that top four, because tonight I'm going on from here later, and the Champions League's on without Manchester United. It's like Tom without Jeddah. You know what I mean? We don't right to be in it.
No.
But it hurts you.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt like mad tonight if I put it on. But I am washing next door's car, so that's sorted.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Erik Ten Hag there. Yeah. To be honest with you, if we look back just before it, look at the Bournemouth game, I thought to myself, managers can be sacked on that. I was worried for him there.
Sacked on him, he was off the roof, dangling off it.
No, I know he was. I know it was poor. Yeah. But, he was in trouble then, I thought. And then you look at the Forest game, and then when you hear a Nottingham Forest player turn around and say, look at their eyes, they don't want to be here. I feared for him. So to turn it round, I think he's done well, Webby.
Yeah, got to turn it round next week as well at Forest in the Cup. Another massive game.
Yeah.
Another Cup final. Yeah, no, you're right. So, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but losing 3-0 home against Bournemouth, it could have been 4, 5, 6 or 7. Let's have it right. So, and the Forest game was as poor. But there's loads more matches we can count this year what's been poor. And it's always going to land on the manager, and rightly so. He picks a team, he buys the players, and it wasn't happening. And if that Forest player did say that they don't want to be here, it looks like it's TikTok. But fair play's turned it round.
Yeah.
But he's got to carry on at Luton, then at Forest, and then after that against Fulham. He's got to carry this run on now.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
You know what I mean?
I look at it there. As INEOS coming in, Webby, helped, or is it just down to the players coming back from injury?
Well, it's helped, hasn't it? If you look at it, I'm not going to come on here and moan about injuries. We did have a lot. Key players are back now, and your results turn. It's not rocket science.
No.
INEOS coming in, they've made some big decisions, getting rid of some people we said should not have been at the club, who have milked it for years, who are now on the rock and roll. You know what I mean? So, So it's good that they have come in, and Sir Jim, obviously, you spoke about before that. Looks like his thing's been made by the Premier League. So it's all good. We needed it, Tony, because we was coming in here on a match day and a non-match day depressed.
If you look at the players, there's some players there ready to leave. We need players. What's your priority in the summer for INEOS? What have they got to do?
We need a centre forward. Simple as that. That's no disrespect to the young lad, so we need a centre forward. We need a scruffy centre forward who's just going to put in those 5 yards. Plus, we need weeks. Tony, we can be here all day.
Yeah.
We need.
It's the priority.
I'm looking at it now, so Luke Shaw gets brought off on Sunday.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've not got another left back at the club. The kid's been injured all year.
Yeah.
Lassie's been injured all year. Then we send the other kid
Regulon.
on loan.
Yeah.
Not Regulon, the kid, the Spanish lad, on loan. Keep him.
Yeah. But then we got rid of Regulon, didn't we? We cut short his loan.
Not good enough.
No, but he was a left back.
Yeah, but so I think he rather prefers Lindelof at left back. I just think the blow as well is losing Wan Bissaka, because Delo will do you a good job there. Who, by the way, he's playing well. I never thought I'd say that.
Well,
it's like you giving me a cockle. I never thought I'd say that, but he's playing well.
Yes,
and I can't knock him,
No, you can't knock him.
Because I've come on here, and I've had a right go at him. But fair play to him, mate. He stood up, and the cross just sums his performances up at the moment. Brilliant first time.
Well, that's what I gave him man of the match for, because he had a great performance and he'd done it. So really, if you look at the full-backs, right, it's not the priority. Yeah. You're saying a centre forward. But if you look at the centre halves, Webby, we really don't know what's happening with Maguire.
Yeah.
Varane there, it looks as though he can just walk out. United aren't really pushing to keep him by all accounts. Yeah. Varane isn't really keen to stay. If Varane goes and Maguire goes, Webby, surely the priority's got to be, not just one centre-half, 2 centre-halves.
You need 4. You need 4 centre-halves. You look at over the years when we've been successful, we've had 2 partnerships, or personally, we couldn't just come in like we have at the moment. We've got 4. But like you're saying, the full-back situation's a bit of a mess. It's just a mess all over. So I think that whatever money we get, it's got to be spent right. Because last year, if I look at it now, Mason Mount was at 60, 70 million. He's played 5 or 6 games. We waited till the start of January. We could have signed him for nothing.
Yeah,
well, and that could have been spent in other departments. Just bad management all round. Don't get me wrong. I think Mason Mount's a great player, but when will we see him? What is his injury?
But I fear for Mason Mount. I think that problem, what he's got, right? I don't think it's just one problem. I think it's one problem after another, and I fear for him. I don't think he's going to. I definitely don't think we're going to see him this year. And I think in the summer.
So what's his injury though? I don't know. Remember him playing against Palace at home, and then that's it.
It's not an injury you see playing for Manchester United. I think what it is, it's injuries going back for Chelsea. So I think someone's got to look at themselves and say, how has this been passed? Because his injury record at Chelsea, it wasn't clear, and he come to United injured. So I think we've got big problems. But that's just him going forward. You say a centre-forward, Webby, as a priority. I don't see a real centre-forward out there what United can go for. I mean, United really...
Would you check Tony?
No.
You wouldn't check him?
No, I wouldn't take him because I think his heart, the way I've listened to him, is all about staying down south. And I think that's an Arsenal target. I think he's already had conversations. Yeah. As you know, conversations go on behind the scenes and that. So the way he's giving interviews and all that, I think it's already nailed on that he's staying down south and that Arsenal look the number one. And I don't really want to see United going in for a fight with other clubs because, you know, I think United are too big to be squabbling now. I think they should be going in and just paying the money. Yeah, that's our player. That's our target. Let's get him. I don't want to see things drag on, Webby.
It all depends on the financial fair play league, how we stand in that coming into the start of the season, how much money we've got.
Yes.
But so we need, and like you're saying, if Varane leaves and Maguire leaves, I think Maguire will stay. That's my own personal opinion. I think the love's back to him now. You're seeing that the fans are singing his song at Villa Park.
Yeah.
He's coming outside. He looks happy within himself. And he rightly deserves to play as well, so you can't knock him.
No, I can't knock him.
But obviously, you talk about Wan-Bissaka going. I'm a bit concerned with Luke Shaw picking up these little niggles all the time. It's a massive, massive summer for the football club, the manager, depending on what money he gets to spend and what we can spend. But whatever he gets, Tony, he's got to do it better than he did last summer, because last summer, as we just spoke about, was a complete and utter joke, mate.
Let's talk something positive, Webby.
Yeah.
Casemiro and Mainoo. Yeah. How good are them two?
Yeah, you know, it's not rocket science that once they got together, it worked well. You know, he's going to learn from a player who's won the Champions League and been in around massive games around the world. He's only going to get better. He's training with him every day. He's probably picking little bits up, and it only benefits the young kid and us. I just hope that he doesn't get picked for England. There's a knocking bet he will do. And don't get me wrong, if he keeps playing like that, I can just imagine England's midfield three in a few years. It'll be Mainoo, Bellingham, and Foden. You know, and name a better three in the world. I don't think you will in a few years' time, injuries free. But we don't want him picked so, but Southgate's there at Villa Park, having a look around. He's going to watch Mainoo, obviously, amongst other players. The kid up front from Villa who didn't even have a kick of the ball. He was that poor, I forget his name. But we don't want him in. We want him having a nice summer off, feet up, because look what happened last year. He come on, everyone was screaming about him, played against Real Madrid, bad injury, we don't see him for 3 months. Because I think if he was fit I think he would have started the season. And he's only going to get better. And the club's got to look after him right now. I've seen the other day that he's been offered a contract, 175 grand. Please, you know, that's what's destroying these young players. Put him in some trust fund or something, so give him what he deserves. But don't let him have all that. Because next, I'm not saying he's going to go to his head. He seems 11 and 11.
He's entitled to a pay
course.
Upgrade because he's now come from the under-18s, under-23s and that. So at the end of the day, he's now in the squad. So automatically he gets a pay rise. Yeah. So that's automatic. How the club and he deals with that and going forward with England and everything else like that, you know, you've just got to hope, right, that he's looked after. Yeah. Now, I look at Bruno. I think Bruno, me and Kieran have discussed it, I think Bruno's playing better now that he can trust that he's got Casemiro and Mainoo behind him. I don't see him shouting, bawling. I see him getting on with his game. Me and Kieran have spoke about it. You don't see him running back as much, trying to get in people's ways and shouting and bawling at players. Do you think Bruno in your opinion, is getting better, not getting better, but
back to himself.
Back to himself because he can trust what's behind him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I say the same with Mainoo and Casemiro. They can trust the centre-half behind him.
Yes.
You know, a solid centre-half. And I think the goalkeeper's done well recently. You know, I would have gutted that he got conceded on something, but I think he's looked better.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy's looked a hell of a lot better.
I thought it was his best game against Villa.
Yeah, some good saves, but I'm just still concerned about Marcus. I'm just, you know, there was a thing there. I forget what minute it was, and I meant to say it to you, the way he ducked out of a tackle. So it was 70-30 or even 80-20 for him, and he ducked out of it, and he's running down dark alley still. And what's the suggestion? Does Southgate not pick him in the summer? He has a summer off, gets on a beach, forgets about football, comes back. But I don't know what the answer is. So, but we know that he's going to be picked. But we spoke about it
Webby,
before.
I wouldn't pick Rashford, right, to play in the Wythenshawe League at the moment because of what you've just said.
Yeah.
And I've been
But we know it'll happen.
I've been saying it about Rashford. He shouldn't be picked anywhere because his commitment isn't right as I see it. And I've said it loads of times. Yeah. You've just picked up on one thing there, right? Did you see him go in for a tackle against Villa? Did you see him win an header? Now then, put that into game before that, the game before that, the game before that. Tell me when you've seen his commitment this season.
I couldn't. I can't. So, to be truthful, I can't. And it just worries me because you look at last year and the goals he scored, but being inside the most stadiums, home and away, it was just as poor. But the goals just overshadows his poor performance. So
that was last year.
But now people are getting on it because he's not scoring them goals.
But he's not doing the work rate as well.
He wasn't doing it last year, Tom. He wasn't doing it last year. He just was in the right place at the right time, mate.
Yeah, but we needed a goal scorer last year, and he was scoring the goals.
I don't know what the answer is. So has he played like that to get a contract? I just don't know. I just think that people will start looking at him. He's got that contract, and if it's not right and the manager don't fancy him and the right bid comes in, you never know. So let's see. But
Bruno, a while ago, give him the ball, take a penalty. Right, that's for your confidence. I seen Bruno at Villa trying to close down the goalkeeper and the centre halves. That's what United was supposed to do in the first half, close him down. Bruno was running left and right, trying to close down. All the time in that first half. He's looking over his shoulder at Marcus Rashford. Where are you? He's back there in space on his own. Webby, I just don't understand it. And Bruno's playing well. But fair play to Bruno. He never said anything. He just gave the look time and time again. And that's what I like about Bruno. He's getting on with his game. He's not worried about what's going on behind him with Rashford or with Mainoo or with Casemiro. He's not worried about Garnacho. He's doing his job as a captain should, and about time too. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You know what I mean? Because there was games there where it was an embarrassment, not just for himself, for the club, throwing his arms up in the air, moaning, playing like a duck egg, being really poor. We know what he's about. When he come to the club, he gave the club a lift.
Great lift.
A great lift. It was needed. It was a January signing. Remember his debut against Wolves, even though it was 0-0. He looked the part, and his record from that day has been, but he's Manchester United captain, so the spotlight's going to be on him more. And when he was throwing his arms up in the air and moaning, it just didn't look good. Not just for me, an old man now, but for these young kids who idolise these footballers, seeing them moan. So, no, happy for him. And like you say, once he's them back, he don't have to worry about things going on behind him or at the side. But I'm still concerned about Rashford. I don't know where we go. So if I did, I'd be in football somewhere. But there you go.
Scott McTominay, squad player. I've always backed him, as you know. Kieran, he knows as well. People out there know. I've always backed Scott McTominay. I've never said he's the greatest player. I've always said he's a good player. And he's a good enough player for Manchester United squad. And he does a job. Problem is, can he consistently do a job when he comes on for 90 minutes? I don't think he can. Problems here. He's got to look at his future in the summer. He's got to decide, does he stay? Does he go? Does he want to play regular football? Or does he just be part of the squad and get the opportunities what he's got? Because he's scoring goals.
I said it last night. I went on the BBC Radio Manchester show and we mentioned about McTominay. I think there's enough games for him to stay here. Yeah. I think you'll get 10, 15 games a year.
Starts now. Yeah.
And then he's got his internationals, you know what I mean? I think it all depends with Scott, how good a Euros he has. If he's still, because I think he's a top goal scorer in all the Euros. If he has an Euro, he could be at Real Madrid. You never know. So they could be coming in midfield too with Bellingham and Scott McTominay. You never know, do you? Let's see what happens. So the ball's in his court. He could have gone to West Ham, which I thought a lot of people thought he'd go for regular football. But let's have it right. So when you leave this place, you only go down, mate. So it's whether he's happy with that 15, 20, that 10, 15 game a season. Like I said, I won't build my team around him, but if he's prepared to stay and have the right game time, I think we don't sell him because he's got that energy and he knows where the onion bag is at the moment. So let's see what happens. But the Euros is a massive month or however long Scotland are in it, because if he has a good tournament and he scores again, clubs are going to look at him and say, well, hang on a minute, he's not getting a game at Man United, so let's try him with a cheeky bid.
I look at Harry Maguire, how he's fought all the negativity. If you look at Scott McTominay, do you think he's overcome that Fred and McTominay partnership, the ridicule what fans out there gave? Do you think he's overcome that? Yeah. And he's done well?
Yeah, there's points of this season when we missed Fred's energy in midfield, when we was getting legged by Wolves here. You know, you needed someone with an energy like Fred to get all over the pitch. Fred was never going to be the greatest United midfield player. I'm not going to come here or anywhere and say it, but he had the legs. So that Wolves game was, we just got ran through. And I thought, we're missing Fred here. We're missing his energy. Yes, it's one of those things because obviously Fred and McTominay was the first pick for midfield, and it wasn't going to work. You know, it wasn't good enough. We all know that. There was the odd game where they'd shine, be a bright light, the pair of them, but 9 times out, well, say about 6 times out of 10, that it was very, very average. So he's got over that hurdle now. Fred's left. He's his own man, and he's proved that with Scotland. With his goals getting forward, he's proved it with us. You know, Brentford, the one at Wolves the other week, the winner at Villa. You know, fair play to him. So let's see what he says. Like I say, massive summer for him. Hopefully, he has a great summer with Scotland, and he stays at the club.
Top 4. Big ask.
I've got to keep winning, so it's simple as that. I was 5 points behind.
I go like this, Webby, before you start. I've got to give you my opinion. I think United can only afford to lose 1 game till the end of the season to get that top 4. That's how I see it. Yeah. So how do you see the top 4?
I think it's still going to be hard. So, you know, we're relying over teams losing, and we've got to win. Yeah. You know, I just think that don't worry about anybody else. Look at our games. Try and win as many games as we can, and let's see what happens come May. But like I say, we're relying on other teams getting beat. So let's see what happens. So, but we need to keep this run going. And you're probably right. Maybe lose 1, maximum 2, but we can't lose more than that, mate, because other than that, it'll be Thursday nights.
What's your opinion on the stadium? New stadium, move a stadium. What is it you want?
It's hard, so, because you look at the likes of Tottenham when they moved theirs, they had a stadium to go into, Wembley. Where could we play if we want to move from there? There's nowhere big enough.
No.
There's nowhere big enough. Wivenshaw Park, is that big enough? You know.
They do concerts there.
Oh, they do. So it's just an hard one. You know, I honestly think so. This is the only thing what can happen. We carry on inside there. There's enough room at the back, build a new stadium. We're still in Old Trafford. You've got to move with the times. But like I say, we can't develop that. Spurs were lucky because they had Wembley. You know, somewhere to sit. I know a lot of Spurs fans weren't happy, but, you know, where could we play? So there's nowhere to play. But it'd be hard to leave the old girl, but we've got to move on in times now. So I'm sitting on my seat like this. On the side, because my legs are getting crushed on, my knees are in some bloke's head who's had it for 13 years off me now and getting rather peeved. So we've got to move. So there's enough round at the back. Let's see if it happens. But I'll be devastated. Don't leave the area. Don't leave that, mate. No, not a chance. I'd rather stay there till the last brick falls down.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens. So, but I think they'll build something at the back.
I think that's the way to go forward. New stadium. I think they will build something at the back. I don't think they're capable or it's right just to start chipping away at it because it'll take too long. I need the job done straight away. Once they're committed, get it done, and that's it. Play football. And I'm still concerned, Webby. We might have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, where could hold us? Where locally could hold us?
There's a question, where locally could hold us?
Tell us where United could play for 2 seasons. There's just nowhere big enough, so you'd have to put the Etihad and Anfield together. You know what I mean? And put it on the East Lanc somewhere. There's just nowhere for us to go to, is there? Really, there's nowhere where we could play locally to fit all the fans in.
Big problems for INEOS.
Massive problems. I think
Jim
the problem.
Ratcliffe.
I think for me, there are people at the back. There's enough land there. carry on there, but let's start work as soon as possible because each year that place is going, it's crumbling so and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is, but it's a big decision. But we've also got to look at a new stadium, and we've got to take our our loyalties out of it and what we've been through. You've got to look at the new generation coming up, and that things have to change. So whatever way it goes, to me, a new stadium. If they're able to put a new stadium exactly where it is, that's great. But the alternative, Webby, just down the road.
Where? We don't want to, you look at on the outskirts of town, with enough land there, it looked great. You look when you go to the Emirates now, you're going down to North London, it's like a spaceship just come out of the sky. But let's try and stay here to Old Trafford. We don't know anything else. This is our home. This is our birthplace.
I agree with you.
But let's see what happens. Money talks, as we know.
Well, that's
the thing. That's the thing. Money talks, where the land is. But like you're saying, so there's enough land around that back to keep United at Old Trafford. So hopefully they'll put their heads together. But they need to start working on it soon. There's no point waiting. Well, I don't know. We need to look at this, lad. We need to get it done now and start building so we can catch up to
And
clubs.
that's my fear, that it's not done in my lifetime. But hey, just had a general chit-chat. I hope you've enjoyed it and that. So listen, get your comments in, press that like button, and in the description, there's a link there for the Ryan Giggs do what Webby's putting on here at Hotel Football. So check that out, please. Listen, it's been a pleasure, Webby. Pleasure again.
No problem.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.